So I'm at Neptune Farms, Salt Spring Island, at the Breath Wave breath training. And that's what I'm doing here. So it is August 9th, 2022. And the real reason I'm here is that breathing seems like a natural progression in my journey. And I kind of really became aware of, it sounds so silly, but becoming aware of breathing, like bringing conscious awareness to breathing, really hit home for me a few years ago now. I think it was 2019 in a mushroom ceremony where it just became obvious that breath is the life force of creation for the physical body, and who knows what else, right? But I've kind of been facilitating with mushrooms for a long time now, and what I've noticed just with myself and when I'm working with anybody is breath is where you go. It's the place you come home to when you need safety, whenever you need to, whenever fear sets in, you go to the breath, and that is naturally where you're going to find harmony and regulation and a sense of belonging and homeness. And that's where I direct myself and others. And it's, before I even really became truly conscious of the life force energy within the breath. And that's kind of why I'm here now. So Robin is the one who's facilitating this, and I've kind of become aware that he's been training and doing breathwork for a while now, I think for 10 years or something at least, and he's trained a bunch of my friends and people that I look up to, and now I want to come learn from him. What I've gathered about him is he seems to be very not just grounded, but very ceremonial in his approach, and that really I find that really attractive, just because I think that's the direction I'm going. I know that that's the direction I'm going, is just like ceremony. I love it so much, and I want to become more masterful in that space, and I want to learn from people who are ceremonialists. That's almost the word. It's like I want to become more ceremonial in my life and bring that component to more of my conscious experience and my weekly experience, even just like it's just the way of life, and that's what I think I'm gonna find here. This farm is really beautiful. I can't believe how beautiful it is. It's actually really big, really wide open. There's yurts everywhere. There's a big maloka, a bunch of tiny houses, a bunch of beautiful people. You can come over.
What is this?
I'm filming. What was your name again?
Jubilee.
I'm filming why I'm here, trying to explain it to myself.
For?
Why I came here.
But to put somewhere?
I don't know.
On the gram?
No, I don't have Instagram. I usually do it.
I'm out then. Cool.
Why don't you tell us why you're here? Tell me.
I assumed you were here with someone. I heard you talking about everything, and anyway, and I was like, I'll just walk by and not interrupt.
What brought you here?
I'm a psychotherapist.
Yeah.
And I've done breathwork trainings before with this guy, Edward Dangerfield, who trained with Robin, but he's in Bali doing his thing.
Yeah.
But I heard about Robin through him, and I wanted to come to the OG and get
That's so funny.
download.
The word OG is the exact word that I used to describe Robin the other day.
Really?
I was like, he's the OG that trained all the other guys who I really respect who train.
Yeah.
And he's like the original. And OG's just funny because it's the original gangster.
I know.
Not what he's like at all, I'm sure. But.
And I've never met him, but I assume he's kind of on the younger side because his wife is quite.
Yeah, he's probably 40.
Okay.
Or 30, even late 30s. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and then this month and week in particular, I have some stuff going on in my own life to kind of process and move through, so this seems like good timing.
Yeah. So, this particular, are you here for level 1 and 2?
No, level 1, and then I might come back and do level 2 another I just wanted to see how it was. Are you doing both?
So yeah, I want to do both. That's why I'm here as well. But I'm here for level 1, so this is the first level is the personal path, which is you get to do your own personal work, which is always nice. You're not holding space for anyone.
Mm-hmm. How many levels are there? 3?
4.
4, okay.
Or 3, actually. 3. Level 1 is the personal path. Level 2 is being able to facilitate one-on-one. And then level 3 is being able to facilitate for large groups. And and I think also just bringing ceremony to large groups. So I'll go through all 3, I'm guessing.
Are you staying back here?
No.
Okay, I'll let you do your thing. I'm just kind of meandering around and checking.
But that kind of captures some of it. It's level 1, 2, and 3. And kind of like I mentioned before, it's like that first level, where that first awareness for me was literally, I was in a really high dosage mushroom ceremony, and my intuition just naturally took me out of my mind, where all the problems and the fear is basically oriented in the mind, and it brought me into my breath for this like really prolonged duration. It was like a 4-hour thing where I was just like deep in this breath mantra or something, and in that I just realized like the intelligence for creation is just rooted in the breath. It's rooted in the air, it's in the oxygen, it's in the prana or the life force or whatever you want to call it. But once that awareness hit me, it kind of changed my experience of what matters, and just bringing attention to the breath and the actual life force energy is going to create a much better, fruitful life than putting all your conscious attention into your thoughts and the chaos that the thoughts create. So if you want to be free and peaceful and full and joyful, you can't be living in the mind, which is where all the problems are occurring. So any practices that bring me more into conscious awareness of my breath is going to be beneficial for my health, and ultimately it's going to move me away from the chaos and of the mind. So that's what I want to embody more of and bring more of that into my life, and then, share that with other people and bring that to ceremony as well, as I step more into like leading larger groups. And I've recently launched something called Inquiry, which is mushroom ceremonies in community, silent mushroom ceremonies in community. And again, that's the home base. Is, when people are going through difficulty, you have to come home to the breath. That's naturally where you're going to find the salvation and return to the calmness and the peacefulness and the regulation. So I need to become more skillful in these practices, and that is why I'm here. So this is actually really, really helpful to say it. So now I know why I'm here. So my intention is to go deeper into breath and pranayama awareness in my day-to-day experience and my moment-to-moment experience. Yeah. Am I in the frame?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit lower. How much nip do you want?
I don't know. I don't know. Full chest.
I worked hard for it.
Okay, so why did you come here? I've said this before in other videos that are done, but I discovered breath through ceremony, through a mushroom ceremony, maybe a year and a half ago, and I knew that I would formally train in it at some point. And basically, a year and a half ago, I became aware and conscious of what was occurring, the intelligence that's moving through the prana, the information in the air. It's everywhere. And it just became very evident that that was the dominant life force energy of this planet specifically. And that changed the way I looked at the world. And it changed the way I looked at space, right? Even just like empty space that seemingly is between things is not empty. It's full of the information, prana. And so my original intent was to come and start to learn from someone who I believed was masterful, and I've been confirmed. Robin at Breathwave here is amazing, and I wanted to come learn from someone the actual specific techniques and the actual what is going on with breath, and the technique is what I wanted to learn more about. So that was why I came here. What am I more conscious of? now than I was before I got here. What I'm more conscious of is actually like the ability to move the prana through the body into the actual spaces that hold the emotion. So I've done a lot of the techniques I do are through the mind. You're dealing with the emotion stored in the body, but you're approaching it first with the mind. And creating it through the mind first. And in this technique, you're basically you're bypassing the mind, you go right through it. You just let the breath do it and just get the mind out of it entirely. And it's beautiful, and it's way less intellectual, and I think it's really important for someone like me, because I like concepts and stuff. So it's just it seems like a more accessible and cleaner way to do it that's available to everyone, because there's not very little explanation required. You're just breathing prana into whatever you want to work through in your body, which is stored emotion. So I'm more conscious of that. Tell me something that is alive in your heart right now. Honestly, I think a big one is my heart itself. My relationship to my heart has grown throughout this retreat. Like, I'm in touch with it to a level of personification, in fact, that I wasn't doing before. In my life, I've always, when I was a skateboarder, I used to talk to my feet. And as a rock climber, I talk to my hands a lot. It's just like I'm always talking, like, come on, guys, you got this. And now I've really started to feel like I've been talking to my heart a lot more in this friendship almost type of manner. And even some of the science that Robin shared about, like, the heart is pumping this information through the prana, through the body, like to all the cells and all of that stuff. So there's a lot of gratitude for the heart. I've been noticing just like just the way I'm speaking to the body, to myself, so that's really beautiful. That's one thing that's really alive in me. And I think the other biggest thing that's really alive in me, and it's become so crystal clear, is my ancestral dharma, like my ancestral destiny to follow the spiritual path as what I'm going to do here. And I could feel my grandfather really strongly in me. That was one of the questions. We were doing a diet process, and that was the question: is what is alive in you right now? And what came up was my grandfather's words and his wisdom, and I could just feel it on a cellular level throughout me. What is something that you're going to do, an action, a specific thing you wish to do now that you've done and participated in this retreat? Well, the main one is I'm going to breathe. I'm going to continue to deepen into this technique and bring it into all of my personal practices, into my coaching practices, into my ceremonies with psilocybin, and actually just continue on the journey with Robin here and just become a breathwork facilitator and continue practicing and learning from breathwave in this case. But that's what I'm going to do. The actual action I'm going to take is go through the rest of the trainings and practice and become good enough that I can start to actually help other people. But I'm in the personal path right now, which is great. So just practicing on my own first, and then I'm going to come back here in November and continue on the journey.